Alright, I am back to start another stream. This time we're going to go pretty much as long as I can tonight. I got to put my gloves on first. We are still working on page 24, but now we're getting into the background and basically just finishing up all the pencils for this page. Alrighty. All right, let me switch over to my stream view. There we go. So here we go again, page 24, with the paladin bursting in on all the bad guys in my scene, and they've been kind of laying in wait for her. Of course, she's not alone either. She has the rest of the heroes right behind her. They're just not in the frame. All right. Now, during the previous session, we were working on this little gnome barbarian right here. Got him all put in. Yeah, he's good. All right. So, we're going to start a little bit zoomed out here. And we're kind of going to figure this background out as we go along because the background is very sketchy. All I know is it's a ceremonial room with banners and uh, maybe an altar or a pedestal or something. And we're going to have skeletons popping up out of the floor. That's what the wizard in the background is doing. He's using his goblin lightning magic thing to summon skeletons. All right, we'll put that out and get to work. Okay. So, let's go ahead and start here with the background. And let me get on the right layer. My brush is, oh, right, I was doing that other thing with the masking off the goblin where he was coming through. All right. So let's just zoom in here some more. All right. Now this pedestal is going to be above or right. Yeah, it's going to be like above our viewpoint. So the step is right here. We're going to go ahead and bring it down a little bit. Do another step that comes out a bit further. We're just going to go right through everything too. Draw it about even. Try to keep these steps about the same size. And then, yeah, let's do one more. This one's bigger. And then one more. It's just a little bit bigger than that. Okay, we'll put our floor right there. That's good. Alright, and of course, so since I just drew right through this character's sword, we're just going to clean that out. And I think I went up here in his neck a little bit too. Maybe into his shoulder. Okay. So with that being my floor line, oh, I got to carry this through all the way over here because I've got that little bit of gap over there. And we'll just clear that out of the barbarian. And I'll go ahead and carry it through the other side so it's there. And of course, it will not show through on my tiefling. It's not going to show through this ear, or through this hair, or that ear. Alright. Let me zoom out again. Just kind of see where we're at here. Alright, that gives us a good high floor level. And in addition to this little raised platform, there's also a pile of treasure over here. Not sure why there's a big pile of treasure over here, unless they've been maybe hoarding it in this place. But we'll include a treasure chest here. We'll put it a little bit in perspective. Maybe it's even cracked open, like it's overflowing with treasure. So let's go ahead and carry it right on through here. And I'm just going to put a few dashed lines in here to kind of suggest form of stuff. Let's see. I think this backside just feels like it's a little too short and not sturdy enough. So let's make it a little bit bigger. It probably just needs some more lines. I don't want to overdo it though. So let's go with a band. Like there. We could put a lock on it, but that's going to be a lot of detail for this view. And we'll go ahead and put like a band across here and one across here. And maybe we should do one across the front too. Okay. Nothing too complicated. We'll get rid of this horizon line in there. And then, let's see. So, treasure stuff is going to spill out like right here. And we're going to maybe have it be like a little bit of a pile there. And get rid of this part of the horizon line. And again, just kind of suggest some coins with these little dash lines. Maybe even put some full circles down here. So it's of course not too tidy. And we can do some up here. Make that not exactly smooth too. Alright, and I might even do a few more back here to kind of add some darkness, some depth to it. Okay. And of course, every treasure pile should probably have a helmet stuffed in it somewhere. We'll throw one in right here. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just look kind of like a helmet. We'll continue our treasure pile back here. It's a nice big mound. And I'm going to have it pour out right there. Same thing. We're going to do some dashes for these coins. And when I come back to do the inks on this, I'm going to have to finalize that hair on the paladin and just kind of tighten up that area a little bit more. So we had tacos, like a Mexican dinner for dinner. So I probably have a little bit of burps and stuff. I apologize for that. I feel like we need a sword. Just one random sword stuffed into the pile. And we'll even put it like right here, so it's not just at the edge. And it should probably be like a magical sword of some sort. Something you would actually want to get your hands on if you were an adventurer. It doesn't have to be too detailed. It is way back there. But there we go. All right, now I feel like this room's probably going to need some more stuff, but let's move on to another section. So we've got that going on back there. And I've got these big tapestries on the wall. Let me come back into the full view. We're going to go ahead and do this one first. And we're going to start with, all right. I'm not going to make it perfectly straight. I'm going to go ahead and let it billow a little bit, because who knows what might be going on in this room. Like that lightning magic could be causing it to billow around a bit. And a static tapestry might look too boring. Okay, so we'll do that. And of course, this is behind the magic, so we want to keep those lines out of there. And we'll go ahead and put some folds in it, just to inform the viewer or the colorist that this thing is indeed not just flat. Okay. Oh, and since we're over here on this side, let's go ahead and add in the door. So the door is a very big, heavy line. We're going straight top to bottom here. And it's a good, thick, heavy door. Wait a minute. Okay, so she's kicking these things open. You're not going to see the thickness of the door, but we would see if there's trim on this door. We're going to see that, and there might be some thickness to that. So we're going to put that there. Like maybe this is a metal plate that's attached to the door, as like a reinforcement trim, so we'll have the thickness of it along this back edge. Now, let me get back in here. So anywhere that lightning went over the door has to be cleared out. And we actually have some of that from the background right there. We'll clear that out. A little bit of my horizon line. But I've got to go to my Goblin Barbarian layer. No, Goblin Wizard. Here we go. And then I can clear out this lightning. Back to the background. Okay. And, oh, back to my Goblin Wizard again. More lightning. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and put some darkness right here. Wait a second. What's going on here? Oh, I did something and dumped my flow down to 10%. Wonder why it was suddenly so light. So that's going to be black. And we'll have some hatch marks there. And it doesn't have to be like perfectly clean. It can be a little bit pitted and rusty. So I'll just kind of do these little bits here. In fact, you might even have a crack in it. Maybe a little bit more of a spot there. Put another one here. It obviously does not show through the sword that's in front of it. Okay. And let's see. So we're doing the door here. And let's see. Come back out. Yeah, we're getting there. Just putting some details in this trim piece right now. Try to give it a little bit of character to show this door has been used over time and that it's not brand new. Okay, maybe another crack right here. I don't really like the way that's coming together here. Maybe we just do a bigger fracture. Go down a little bit further. Let's actually use some of this. This was the scribbly stuff I had in my concept sketch for like a bashing special effect, like a kind of like a pow or a bang or something like that in a comic book. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Thanks. Well, I'll take it for later. Thank you. All right. I see that somebody is viewing. Welcome to the stream. I am working on my coloring book. This is page 24 of my coloring book that I'm working on. It's intended to be 32 pages, so we're getting close to the end. And once I finish penciling all the pages, which I've done up to like page 20 or 21, then I'm going to go back through and ink them in for the final pages to be colored. Or, you know, that will be the coloring book. All right. Okay, that looks like enough. It's just a little bit of character there for the panel. And I'm going to add some wood texture to the actual door part here. So let's just kind of add some streaks with some varying thickness. This would be some very old wood. Might even be kind of coming apart in places. These are some ancient elven ruins that we are exploring at the moment. Okay. Let's go ahead and come down to the bottom and bring one up. Add some thickness to it right there. Bring another one in over here. There is a chance that some of the stuff at the very edge of the pages would get cut off during printing. So I don't put anything out here that I'm absolutely wanting to keep in the book. I probably should not have put that right there. It should probably actually be over here. Go a little bit higher up. All right, let's take a look at this door. Okay. And let me turn off my scribbles that are underneath. Okay. It does kind of look like wood, but I think I might have overdone it. Let me actually just zoom out a bit. And we're going to go ahead and clean out a bit of that. And some of this. I think all of this one. Oh, I'm actually getting rid of my separator line there. And I should probably go ahead and darken it in down here as well. Maybe I just do a few of these spots along that dark or that back edge of the metal trim. That line itself probably ought to be heavier. I mean, it really should, since it's going to be kind of on top of everything that's not part of the detail or the deeper in parts of the image. All right. That's good. Now, of course, when I took away my scribbles, that was all of my initial concept sketch. So we need to bring those back just to keep my guides for what we're doing. All right, so we're going to stick with size 10 on my brush, and I'm going to put in this door on the other side, which obviously is not as visible because most of it is behind the paladin. But now we've got that. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here, and we're going to clear this out of the paladin with a much bigger eraser. So this is a piece of hair here. And so her hair and her shoulder pad. More shoulder pad. Okay. That created a little bit of a tangent right there. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with black right there. Okay, coming down armor plating, leg, inside the sword. What else am I looking at right here? That's her other leg. And okay, we're very close right here with the hip. Let me go back to the paladin layer. Okay, so just sticking that line up. Okay, and that is actually right there, the back side of the door. So let's go ahead and fill this in down here, just adding some shadow areas to help separate everything. And I'll do the same thing at the top of it. Let's go to about there. Okay. And actually, I made this side of the door much thicker than the other side. It's really not that big of a deal. But, oh, and I just did that all on the paladin layer. So, let's save this before I lose it. Or before I do anything else. Oh, yeah, this is where it gets ugly, because that is the paladin right there. Alright, so I've selected those 3 areas, cut those out, go back to my background layer, paste them in, which comes to a new layer, but merge it back down. Now it's good. But I'm going to now do this other thing, because I made that back edge right there way thicker than that back edge. So I'm just going to select right here. And we're going to go ahead and thin it up a little bit. Right there should be good. Yep, that'll do. Now it's comparable. And we're going to go ahead and clean out that lightning from the trim. So back to my goblin wizard. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. Any more? Nope. That's it. Okay. And of course, by moving that line, I did mess up a little bit right here because it shifted along curved lines. Yeah, see, we're going into the arm there. It's not that big of a deal. It's something I would just clean up when I do the inking. But if I clean it up now, I won't mistake it later or mess it up. And let's go back to the paladin and fix this. Not sure if that was something that we just did or not. Okay. So now that's all there. Let me take this back down to about 7. And let me see if I can just sketch these out at this zoomed out level. I don't like the way that slid. have a thing for sliding over at a bit of an angle there. Now the thing is, I'm new to using this Cintiq, and I'm used to using my XP pen, which, yeah, so you see how these got all digital, that digital wave to it. That's something that I had a lot with my XP pen tablet. So it's not just the tablet that does it, but uh, it's kind of a thing of how it's reading your movement and digitizing it. So the closer in you're zoomed when you're working, the smoother it becomes, and the further out you are, the more it's gonna really show up when you zoom in that it was like a digital approximation of your movement. And if you're trying to draw something organic, that's not necessarily a look you want. Okay, we're going to clear these lines out of the hair. And maybe this will make it look a little bit more organic with the way that I end up filling in some of the gaps in these lines. Hopefully. Oop, I caught on the slider bar there for a second. Alright, let's take a look at it. Oops. I guess it's okay. Maybe I'll add one more right here. Add a bit of a knot type looking thing. It'll do. And we can add some more texture bits to this backside like we did on the other one. So like some indented areas, maybe some scratches. Should have at least a little bit of variation in everything, so it's not uniform. Maybe the sides is like really chopped in, but really short too. Maybe even some crisscross scratches. And you can add depth to those too if you really want to. And maybe a little pock mark over here. Alright. Oh, and maybe... Oh, I didn't put any cracks in this one, so let's go ahead and run like a crack right along here and just make sure that I don't actually line up with any of the lightning, so it's not like a weird tangent where you're connecting two lines together. And maybe run another crack over here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get back into the deep background. We've got another banner to place. So that's a straight line. And as I did over there, we don't really want a straight line. But now we can approximate this. Let's see. Something like that. And try to kind of copy the same flow over here. And we'll throw some waves in it. And there we go. We'll clear off the excess here. We'll go ahead and get rid of the straight line. And we'll throw in some fold lines here. Something like this. Okay, maybe a little bit more there. Get these out of the lightning. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, nice big banners. It could probably use some carry through up here though. Like a little bit of this, maybe a couple more lines here. Doesn't take a whole lot. And again, it's going to be a coloring book, so you don't want to overdo it because you want to leave a lot of it in the hands of the person that's going to color the page. Okay, I think that's everything there, and I think that's everything there. All right, and one more banner, which is this big shield-shaped one. So we're going to go ahead and swoop down like this, and swoop down like this. Let's do it a little bit there. Now this one might be completely mounted a different way, and it might be hanging where this is like a fold. So we could hang it with some V folds. Give us some visual difference here. That should be plenty. And then I could just zoom in and clear it out of my lightning again. And I could probably do that quicker, like all at once later on, instead of doing it every time right here, but that's how I'm doing it. Okay, so we have our tapestries, we've got our pedestal, we've got some treasure piled up back there. I feel like we need some more stuff because there's this big open area right here that I just don't like. So I'm thinking, let's bring in a pillar, and we'll bring it in way up here too. Okay. We'll make it about that wide. It'll actually, we don't really want it to be in tangent with the door, so let's make it a little bit bigger. Now I am drawing through areas, that are going to get erased in a second. And then this will swoop up like so. Okay, and because that's above our vanishing or our horizon line, it's not going to have a curve where we can see like into the curve. Yeah. And then we're literally just going to go straight up with it, right to the roof. And I think I'm going to go right about here. Should I have another one? I can. We'll go like right here. All right. So again, cleaning stuff out of my lightning. And when I was doing that pedestal down there, I also kind of tweaked the door a little bit, but we'll go with this first. Now, we're going to say light's coming into it probably, so if anything, you'll probably get some shadow like this. Shadows are one of the things I don't really like putting into this book, but I do it wherever it seems like it helps to express the like the architecture or the texture of something, or basically help with the visual storytelling so that it's less confusing. I could do a whole lot more, like detailing in textures and shadows. Did I just fuck that up? Yes, I did. My bad. I was adding thickness to the wrong area. We want that over here. Anyway, yeah, so if I wasn't doing this as a coloring book, I would be adding a lot more cross-hatching, a lot more texture, detailing, like in lines and stuff to make it as interesting as possible. Okay. So that's all good, and then here's where I messed up the door. Oops. Keep hitting the button with my thumb. So now the door is back and covering the pillar, but I'm also using a smaller brush. So let's get back to the bigger brush, take that right in there, and clear it out of the hair. There we go. Now we've got a pillar in this room, and that, okay, that pillar is actually in front of the lightning, so we need to fix that. Because this guy is way back here with his lightning, and this pillar is way up here. So that was a mistake that I just made. I should have just gone ahead and left it go right through that lightning. Okay, I'm going to take this line right here, and then we got to go to the Goblin Wizard and clear his lightning out of the pillar. So that was when I initially sketched everything. I was not planning on putting pillars there, or I didn't think of it. But I do feel like pillars add some interesting element to this room, or at least some will, and like it'll give for the battle that's about to take place. It could be cover, it could be an obstacle, any number of things like that. Let's see. So now that covers all of the elements I put into the background initially, but we need to have these skeletons. At this point, they are just beginning to pop up out of the ground. But we're going to go, skeletons have their own layer. Now if I'm going to put one here, his head needs to be smaller than her head and bigger than his head. So that should be plenty right there. And he's literally bursting out of the ground right here. So this is about as much as I'm going to put. And we've got debris coming up from the floor here as he bursts up out of it. Don't want to put things like level, then it just looks static. And you don't want to make them too uniform around the character either, for the same reason. Okay, so then we've just got chunks of crap out here. Broken stone, dust, that kind of stuff. Maybe even run some cracks out of the floor from this location. And of course, since we're doing this digitally, I could cheat and just duplicate the same skeleton over and over and over again. But that's not what I'm all about here. Let's add some darkness here. Some bone. And of course, I'm going to have different levels of detail depending on how close these skeletons actually are. So like this one's not that detailed. He's just got to be enough to suggest that he is in fact a skeleton. The same way that wizard way back there is not like a really good drawing of the wizard. He's more he's just enough to suggest the character, which the character is well drawn in, several other pages of the book. So if you were coming in as a colorist, or you're coming in to color the coloring book in, then you would by this page have some familiarity with that character already, unless you just skip straight to this page. In which case, I can't help you. That's that is what it is. All right, so there's that. We've got one nasty little skeleton starting to burst up out of the ground. I don't like that one. I don't think I've mentioned it in this stream, but these pages, like when I post them online, I'm posting them at like 500 pixels tall, mainly because it's going to be a book that I plan on selling. But my Patreon patrons are getting access to each of these pages as soon as they're finished. In fact, with the last several pages, because I'm doing pencils before I do inks and like completely finishing them, I'm giving them the pencils and the inks. So, um, like if any of my patrons happen to be interested in practicing inking skills or anything like that, they can do that with these penciled pages. But the pages they get are full size, high resolution, so it's 300 pixels resolution, 8.5 by 11 inches on these. But everything that I do, um, my patrons for the month get access to the high resolution image of it, no matter what it is. If it's a painting, like 18 by 24 painting, they get an 18 by 24 download at 300 pixels resolution. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to put another skeleton. Do I want to keep it right there where... Yeah, I think I do. So I've got another one bursting out right here. I was just thinking whether or not I want to keep him right there. So, now he's actually just a little bit in front of her, so his head should be bigger than her head. Those are head measurements there. So let's go ahead and put him right here. So his head would have to be right around there. That would be a good size for it. Alright, we'll put that in there. We're going to have a spine, rib cage, and this one, let me think. Maybe, let's see, he's going to have collarbones here. Comes out to like the clavicle there and the shoulder bone. Okay, so this guy, he's actually going to have an arm out here. And his forearm might be laid out across like so. And yes, I know the forearm is 2 bones. I'm going to get there in a minute. I'm just playing out with my idea right here quickly. Okay, so he's coming out, and he's going to have some sort of an ancient sword. I think it'll be like a cutlass of some sort. There we go. And of course we're going to have stuff here, because he's bursting out the same as everybody else coming out of the ground. We'll have some bits over here. And throw some of it all the way up here. And maybe not have them in a line. We'll have some of it right here. Another little chunk right there. See, it's always like you're either in a line one way or in a line the other way if you're not careful with it. Let's do that. Okay. And we'll have some more stuff just bursting out right here with him. We don't really need to get too into detailing skeletons on this page. There's a lot of other stuff going on. And just kind of put in the basics of them. So we've got his clavicles here, some nubs for the spine back here. You can always make them have big evil eyes, but I'm just gonna go with the simple, like semi-realistic eyes here, even though it is still just a little bit stylized. But if you want a good, like a badass army of undead, you give them evil eyes and facial expressions, even though they are just bone. Okay, let's clean them up a little bit. And we got some goofy stuff going on right there. That happens. Alright. Okay, so I made, let's see, his collarbone coming out here. Then you get to the ball of the shoulder joint and run down here to the bone. And we've got this debris bit right here that's kind of covering him a little. Let's clean that out. And okay. Alrighty, we are adding skeleton in. I think I did that wrong. I think it's actually supposed to curve on the bottom bone. But you know what? He got buried under this place and his arm is on backwards. How about that? And just kind of suggest finger bones here. Oh, that's right. And this is like a saber or a cutlass or something with a bell cup that kind of covers his fingers. And it's got like a bulb to the back of it. That'll do it. Alright. And we'll keep this curved upward at the back and bring it across there. Okay, and we'll put some chips in this blade. I mean, it's not like it's going to come through that perfectly unscathed, right? And I am not happy about these chunks in his chest area that are all kind of uniform. Okay. Darken these bits in so I can make sure I see them later on. Let's go ahead and put some sternum in there. And then really for the rest of them, you just have to suggest some ribs at this point. Okay. Broken debris everywhere. Maybe one more right here. Alright, that'll do. Then we're going to go ahead and crack the ground around him, the same as we did with the other guy. But maybe a little bit bigger cracks. Alright. And let's see. Kind of feel like I should do one more. Actually, a couple more, but maybe we'll do even less with them. So let's say right here, all we're going to put is like the suggestion of a bony hand. And then we've got cracking material around it. Like it's kind of bursting up a little bit, but not a lot. And that was a little bit smooth, but we can maybe work with that. And I'm going to get rid of this round bit because that kind of mixes in with the hand itself. And we'll throw in a little bit more here. That'll do it. And we can do one more here, I think. Just want to make sure that I don't have any really big open areas that are like leaving us like falling short. So do I want more? Nah, I think I'm gonna leave it there with just the 3 suggested there. That seems pretty good for this page. And again, we can turn off the scribbles that were there for the concept. I think it's looking pretty good. But this door, the wood trim in it kind of bugs me a little bit. Let's just kind of continue it a little bit more. Make it a little bit more definitive. Okay, that's a little bit better. Oh, and I didn't do any scratches over here like I did over there, which I kind of like those. So we throw some right here. Maybe like a pit. Just these little small pitted areas, like something got hurled into the door. Just a couple of them. Maybe put another one over here. I mean, if it was modern, you'd say like buckshot or something like that, but it could just be like particles from exploding magic, like destroying stone and hurling particles through the room into, or through the hallways into those doors. But okay, I think I'm going to call that page done, and we can get started on the next page. So I will cue that up here. Let me save this. Let's save it for the web. So like I said, if I post this somewhere, it's, oops, I messed up. But if I save it, or if I post it somewhere, it's going to be literally 500 pixels, except for where it goes on my Patreon as a download, where I put it there full size. And I can get rid of that because that page is now sketched. So save it again and save it as a PNG. There we go. Now that's 24 pencils. Okay, now take it a moment. So now we're going to close that down. We are going to open up page 25. Oh, that opened over there. Okay. Bring it in here, put it in the dock. All right, so here you can actually see that was the scribble sketch that I just started the last page with. But this page, we have this scribble sketch to work with, which is similar, but instead of being at the doorway with just the paladin, we've got a whole lot more characters in the scene. And we're going to get started just putting this together a little bit. So that's that one. Well, since it is a layer of its own, actually no, we'll merge it down. And then I'll use my marquee tool to select this. All right, and merge that down. I'm going to turn that off. Now, this image is going to get stretched to fill the whole page. That's going to do it. Go ahead and center it up right there. All right, so that is my scribble sketch that starts this page off, which, let's see what we got here. I've got right here, this is my female cleric. She is a half elf, I believe, or she might be a full elf. I'm not, I just remember. Good guys. Yeah, she is just an elf. So elf cleric, she has this rock mace thing that she uses for her to channel her magic. I've got skeletons coming up out of the floor, but now instead of just being heads or hands, they're up to chests. But they might actually become more than that in this one. I believe this is my dwarf ranger fighting against the goblin barbarian. This is my gnome barbarian with his really big sword fighting against my dwarf fighter. This would be my human wizard who is doing stuff. That's the goblin wizard back there again. Human fighter or human barbarian, tiefling barbarian, female paladin. So this character right here is the one that was right in the doorway in the last page. I believe this is another skeleton coming up out of the floor. So I've got lots of stuff to work with here. We're going to be referencing the last page for some of the layouts since I did all that room design. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and we're going to stream again. Let's see, today's Friday, so I'm not sure if I'm going to stream this weekend. But I will definitely be back on my scheduled stream Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to be streaming every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, as long as nothing happens to keep me from it. So thanks for checking out my stream, and I hope you come back for the next one. And hopefully we'll have another cool page to work on, if not this one.